promised you all things cycle tour, and you are back just in time. Now, once you are familiar with your bike and your equipment, it's now time to get into the saddle and on the road. Training is an essential part of getting ready for a cycle race, as you need to build up your endurance as well as in order to just not only finish the race, but in my opinion, enjoy the race. Now, with us to chat all things training and how to go about it is partner and senior coach at Science to Sport, Michael Possimus, joining us on the show. Mike, it's great to have you here.
No, thank you very much.
I love that I get to pick experts' brain ahead of my first ever cycling journey. I've been on a bike 4 times, I can tell you that much, on the road. And so far, I've been enjoying it. So each cycle's been a little bit longer. But for someone like myself, who's a beginner to cycling, but not necessarily to fitness, what would you recommend in terms of starting? It's a tricky question.
Yeah, no, it is a very tricky question, but the best advice I could give anybody, and it might be to the beginner like yourself or to the more experienced cyclers, just to be consistent, to not just try and jam everything over a weekend. Try and get out regularly as you approach your big day, which is 4 weeks away now.
Yeah.
And just to be consistent and to try and get out at least 4 times a week in small, consistent chunks, and you'll get a better adaptation and response from that as opposed to just including one very long ride on a Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, so be consistent, try get out 4 times at least the week, which is going to be tricky, but I'm going to try my best.
It doesn't have to be outside. You can also go to your local gym, cycle on the indoor trainer provided in your gym, or if you're lucky enough to have an indoor trainer at home.
Then that definitely helps. In terms of a fitness program, a training guide, any recommendations there? Especially with the hills, I realized I'm okay on the flat surfaces, but the inclines is really where I burn out. I obviously hadn't mastered the gears properly, so by the time I summit the hill, I'm exhausted, and even though it's a flat plane, I have no energy in me.
Yeah. So what we would generally recommend, and the recommendation would be, again, from a beginner to somebody wanting to go sub 3 hours, is to try and polarize your training. So you want really easy days, and then you want really hard days. So don't try and make every single training session tough. So if you struggle on the hills, don't try and do hills on every single training session. Have some where you just ride very easy, and then have specific sessions where you try and push yourself by riding the hills a little bit harder. These would be your high-intensity days. And you would ideally want no more than 2 hard sessions in a week, and keep all other sessions and all other rides very, very easy.
Okay, I like that. So, okay, that's a different approach to taking it. And then when it comes to, tracking your fitness, how important is it? I feel like everyone said to me when I said I'm going to be doing a bit of cycling, they were like, get Strava. Strava is the thing to be on.
So there are several platforms you could use. So the question is what you want to track. And in cycling, there are a lot of analytics. But just for the beginner, simply tracking the amount of hours that you are riding every week. So you slowly want to progress the amount of hours. So if you've done 3 hours last week, the best goal for next week is to do 4 hours and slowly progress it slowly. You don't want to go from 0 to hero, because that would just cause you to be more fatigued and not respond and adapt adequately. So increase it by small increments every single week. And for the beginner, simply start off by tracking your hours in whatever platform works for you. Strava can be a great tool if used correctly.
Okay, well, Mike is not going anywhere. We have more things to unpack when it comes to the cycle tour, including prepping for race day as well as focusing on recovery. So don't go anywhere.